Hello, guys. This is episode 4 of our Third and Long podcast. We are currently in week 7. Thank you for coming back and listening. And we have a variety of topics today. Talk about the new stuff happening in NFL. We have some new additions. We have a kitty here. And also, we have our new people are Henry Mitchell, Drazen Ginsburg, Christian Josie, Greg Gator, and Sean Aylen. Now, we'll start off with we started last week with our wheel of teams. We pick a team. Start off our conversation there, and you guys can just drop in and listen. Henry, back to you.
All right, let's spin this wheel.
See who we get.
We got the Lions.
The Lions.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, so the Lions have been surprisingly pretty good with the emergence of a couple players, a couple rookies. Anybody have anything to say on that? A couple like DeAndre Swift or something like that? Anybody?
Yeah, so last week, DeAndre Swift had 2 touchdowns. He was looking like a great rookie. Before this past week, he didn't really do too much. So it was good to see him start to emerge because we know how great he was in college. And I think he's just going to go up from here.
Yeah, I mean, with Matthew Stafford behind there, he's a good, mentor to all those young guys. Like, you can see Galladay emerging after that injury. He's getting tons of touchdowns. He's one of the most athletic people I've seen. And, even though that defense, anything to say on that defense?
Yeah, it's not great.
That defense is incredibly bad, but I could see brighter days ahead in a couple of years. Definitely. Anything else to say on that?
What do y'all think they'll go this season, in terms of record?
9-7.
Because they're 3-3 right now.
Or 8-8.
8-8.
I'm gonna go 7-9.
I'm with Gray there.
I got 6-10.
Yeah, 6-10.
Definitely not. Yeah, definitely not going.
What do you think?
Sorry. I was actually gonna go back to something. But so with Swift, absolutely going off on last Sunday, do you think we're gonna see less of Adrian Peterson?
Yeah.
I still think they're gonna rely on Peterson a little bit because he's, of course, more veteran. But they're still splitting carries evenly. They're still gonna be equal, but maybe Swift's you see Swift's yards per carry, they're pretty high. But I don't think they'll lessen Adrian Peterson. I think they'll more of just be by committee and whoever's playing well that day, they're gonna play.
Personally, I don't think that we're going to see that much of – I feel like we're going to see DeAndre Swift, but I think they're going to stick with AP because, DeAndre Swift had a big day and all, but that doesn't really happen unless it's against Jacksonville. If you put him against
it's very promising, though, when you look at it.
Yeah, it was promising, but, it was Jacksonville at the same time.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Jacksonville, there's another guy in Jacksonville that is very polarizing here. James Robinson. What do you guys think about him?
I think
he's no doubt very talented, very surprising undrafted rookie. And you look at it, he'll score a touchdown, but his production, yards per carry, is not it. Anything to say on that?
Yeah. It isn't his yards per carry 2.5 or something.
Last week against the horrible defense.
Lions defense.
Yeah, Lions defense was not good.
Yeah, no, he's just I don't even know how to explain. I'm not a fan of him, fantasy-wise, just because, his first couple weeks, he had big weeks or 15-point weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But I just see a big regression. He would have ended up having
if you kind of look at him or Mike Davis, he's won you a couple games, and maybe that's the end of his fantasy life right there, or this season. So Mike Davis, well, what about Mike Davis, guys? How do you think on him fantasy wise?
After this week,
I think he'll be good this week, but after that,
he'll be average after 6 points per game.
I think definitely he'll be getting that very inches carry because he's a bigger back, more powerful. But his production's not going to go down, but I don't think it's going to go down to what we saw before with McCaffrey getting 99% of snaps. It'll go maybe down to maybe 70-30 or 80-20. That'd be kind of good.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm excited to see that they've actually gotten a power back because last season and this season we've seen like when McCaffrey's still in. Like last season, we lost 3 games on the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
And every single time we're trying to get with McCaffrey, and he's just not that great of a power back. I mean, if you get him open field, there's not many players in the NFL are going to be able to tackle him. But on the 1 yard line, we just need someone that's good enough to get into the end zone.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy because Mike Davis has like been a seasoned veteran for a long time, and like it's crazy his upbringing and all that. Well, talking more about running backs and more just teams overall, we have the Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys, of course, are the most polarizing team in football right here. Now, I understand they're very talented, but like they just can't pull together, and especially with Dak like having a devastating injury. Like, what do you guys think about the Cowboys?
I think they'll come third in the division.
I think.
Go ahead, Gray.
No, you got it.
All right. So I think, I mean, obviously, we know that division is most likely the worst division in football. So, like, I think they have some players on that team who are definitely emerging as being good, like CeeDee Lamb and Gallup is starting to do a little better. But, I mean, against, like, they just haven't really been, like, producing as a team. I mean, Dalton had a horrible week when we expected him to maybe – I mean, not really take over the whole role of Dak because we know Dak is elite, but like at least do something. And he really, I mean, he did pretty much nothing. So I think they definitely have good players. Like when we're talking about running backs, obviously they have Zeke, who's arguably the best running back in the league when the offense is clicking, but just as a team, it just doesn't really work. If your leader is, I mean, he's mediocre. He's nowhere close to Dak, and their defense is, I mean, it's pretty bad. So
yeah, that defense.
Well, Christian brought up last week that like they may even like sign like I don't know, this is a little out there, but like Colin Kaepernick or something. Like
They could sign they could trade for Sam Darnold.
I would like
That's
to
not going to help them though.
I would like to see that.
They don't need Sam Darnold. I mean, Dak's going to be back next season.
But for this,
but no, his
this
contract
division's
right.
still wide open. And as it looks now, after that Cardinals game, they're not going above 5-11, 6-10. Even in the division they're in.
I have to.
I say they beat the football team once, the Giants once, and then one other team.
It's just so
Christian.
sad. You know they're so talented too.
You said that you think the Cowboys are going to get third in the division. Who do you have getting first and second?
Eagles and Giants.
You think the Giants?
You have the Giants over the Cowboys?
Yes, I do. I think they're going to be pretty good the rest of the year.
Giants are going to be at the bottom of that division.
No, they're not. They just beat the
Right now, the Cowboys are the only team with 2 wins. They have the most wins in that
I know.
division.
The Giants are going to pick it up. You'll see.
Christian, I think that's a little
No, they're
biased.
not.
Continuing on the bias stuff. What about the Bills? You got 2 losses in 2 weeks. Like, I mean, look at the camera off now. Like, what happened to the Bills, guys?
We played 2 of the best teams in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing else to say about that.
I mean, look at Josh Allen's stats.
I thought you said the Chiefs would win,
Exactly.
or the Chiefs would
I
lose.
No, I think Josh Allen has solidified his role as a non-MVP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he really.
Yeah.
Not even sure.
I
Okay,
mean-
okay, yeah. Okay, listen,
Wait,
I'm talking.
let Christian
Go
talk.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Against the Titans, he did play bad.
Against
But
the Chiefs, he played bad.
actually, no. Against the Titans, he still had an average quarterbacking game. 69% completion, still 270 yards.
2
and
picks.
touchdowns. One of the picks was not his fault. I don't care what
Still
anyone
a
says.
pick. A pick is a pick.
Okay.
Pick's a
Let's say
pick.
it's still a pick. That's still an average QB day. Against the Chiefs, okay, this is a little bit of an excuse, but it was pouring rain.
Mahomes had the
That's-
rain too.
Yeah,
Mahomes had the
that's a
rain.
Yeah, he
horrible
didn't play that great either.
Better than
That's
Josh.
why they ran the ball every
They
play.
still won.
They still
Okay,
won.
yes. Okay,
That
we're
Bills
4-2.
defense is not.
I do not think we're contenders until we have a better defense.
I said on one of the first episodes of this podcast, I said that he's not going to continue what he did because we all were
He's
all
still
over
going
his
to.
hype. What? Okay, tell.
That's
we
2
were all-
off weeks. He's gonna go. We're gonna go.
okay,
Like,
we were all on his hype. We were like, he could be a potential MVP. Blah blah blah.
still can.
Maybe a Super Bowl run type thing. Tell me
Yeah.
which 2 teams he played first.
The Dolphins are looking up.
No.
No,
Yes,
they're
they
not.
are.
Oh,
They're contending for a playoff wild card spot.
You
right
should
now.
not have beat the Dolphins by 3 points. That's straight up sad.
Like, it was the Dolphins and the Jets. Those
Yeah.
should be two teams that if you play both of them back to back, you should be in the MVP talk.
Yeah.
Like we see him
Well-
regressing against these better teams.
Dolphins
What's he gonna do in
team
the
is
playoffs?
not bad at all.
well, you got to see this next week. Like, I mean, they're facing the Jets again. I mean, if he does not have a good game, he's officially out of the MVP.
Oh,
Officially
well,
out
you
of
gotta
MVP.
put him at least 4 touchdowns.
Well,
Are we quoting that? Should I write that down? 4 touchdowns?
Yes, you'll have at
Christian,
least 4
Christian, I
touchdowns.
have a question. What happens when you get into the playoffs and try to make a run? Explain to me, please.
Only
If we
contenders
our
anymore.
defense, I think we'll be fine.
What we throw up another 200 yards passing for a MVP candidate quarterback?
All right. Yeah, y'all can
You
think
can't
what
do
you
that.
want.
Yeah, no, the only good competition y'all have played, at least defenses, you've played the Titans defense, which is solid, and the Chiefs defense, which I think is above
The
average.
Rams top 10.
And then, so the two good, okay, you played 3 good defenses, and 2 out of the 3 of them,
Dolphins
Josh
team-
Allen had
Dolphins
it's
team,
bad.
Byron
It's
Jones and
bad.
Xavier Howard, we cooked them.
Okay, well, the thing is, like,
'Cause-
when they face good offenses, especially like the Titans and the Chiefs, they're going to be forced to pass the ball more because they're likely going to be down in games, allowing more pressure to Josh Allen. And let's see how he handled it. And he didn't handle it what Christian thought he would handle it as.
Okay. We'll see.
Okay, we'll see. Okay, they got
Who do the Bills play this week? Oh,
They got
Jets.
the
right?
Jets.
Okay.
Jets.
The Jets.
Also, another thing is
Then the Patriots.
those Bills running backs really aren't that great. So, like we were saying, they're going to have to rely on the pass. And I think if they can never get the running game going, then they're not making the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that
You
running
have an
team.
all-around good offense to be a Super Bowl team.
Mhm.
And
The
I
Chiefs
think
had a good running offense last year. Singletary was better than Damian Williams.
That's not.
Okay,
Damian
well,
Williams had a good year last year.
Speaking
Damian
of running
Williams
backs,
was bad.
Speaking of running backs, Le'Veon Bell was signed to the Chiefs. Now, do you think, honestly, him to the Bills would definitely solidify
Yeah.
myself as their Super Bowl contender? But him
Mhm.
going to the Chiefs, that just makes that overpowered offense even more overpowered. But like
What?
CEH, what's going to happen there?
I think he'll still get as many touches as he get. I think that Bell is going to be the RB2 there, and he'll get like the same amount of carries as Darrell Williams, number 31 on the team, got. I don't think he's going to be as big as a
I think we'll see Le'Veon Bell in the passing game mostly.
Yeah.
Like he was really good receiving back in Pittsburgh, and I think he'll continue that. And it's just going to make this Chiefs offense even better
Yeah,
than
because
it
that
already.
O-line on the Chiefs is already good. And you know Le'Veon Bell, I mean, the Pittsburgh O-line back then was extraordinary.
Yeah.
If he just stays, the best thing he does is he stays patient and he finds that hole. He plays the game like it's slow motion, and that's what made him one of the best running backs a couple of years ago. So that Chiefs O-line could definitely do something.
In fantasy terms, Clyde Edwards-Helaire each week is probably projected 17, 18 points. He went down 7 points because
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell is starting. So that's just like an
In standard leagues. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I feel like we're gonna see a kind of impact because 2 years ago when Damian Williams came from, I think the Dolphins, he came from some team to the Chiefs when they made that AFC Championship run and got cucked by the refs. I think that Le'Veon's gonna have that kind of effect where he's gonna be reliable to the point where they can use him and they can be confident when using him. But he can also still bring that veteran presence to the running back room and get Clyde Edwards-Helaire a little.
Well, like you don't want another like kind of Antonio Brown situation where he's like has all tantrums and whatever. Like
Well, Antonio Brown.
I don't think you will. I don't
I
think
mean-
that'll happen.
if I could have a guy in the locker room, I would not choose Le'Veon Bell as that guy in the locker room. Just saying there. I mean, yeah, he's a very polarizing guy. But yeah, I think that I think Chiefs are still major favorites to win the Super Bowl overall.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then our next part, we're gonna talk about some new guys, like some really good wide receivers here. We have emergence of a guy named Justin Jefferson. Anything to say on him?
5th in receiving yards, I think.
Mhm.
Yes.
He has been really good. I mean, with them focusing on Thielen so much, that leaves the big route wide open for him. So, like, yeah.
Yeah, I think that receiving core for the Vikings is really good. I mean, obviously we know what Thielen can do based on not just this season, but what he's done in past seasons. And obviously Jefferson is emerging as, in my opinion, he's the best rookie receiver. And I know a lot of people think that. And then another guy who's starting to do really well is their tight end Irv Smith, because Kyle Rudolph is kind of going downhill. He was good a couple years ago, and now he's just like nowhere to be seen pretty much. So they have a lot of young guys. Irv Smith's in his like second or third year, I think, and Jefferson's obviously a rookie. So another really good like young offense. Kirk Cousins isn't that great. He's been throwing a lot of picks, but he's also been, I mean, if you look at him in fantasy terms, he's not that bad. Sort of like how Kyler Murray's doing. He throws a lot of picks, but he also gets a lot of yards and touchdowns.
Well, also, well, I mean, off topic, but Kyler Murray gets rushing touchdowns.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
However, Murray was not impressive last game.
I mean, he can throw the ball really well. I could tell. Like his type reminds me of Russell Wilson in his first season. Season,
I can see
that.
that.
Like, because he rushes the ball and he has a crazy good arm. They're both baseball players. Like, I think it aligns like really well there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and speaking of Russell Wilson, that Seattle Seahawks offense is also incredibly good.
Another
DK,
great young guy.
DK and Tyler
Yeah.
Lockett. Tyler Lockett is your number 2, or I don't know. You can. What do you guys think? Who's your number 1?
I think Tyler Lockett.
I'd take Lockett still.
Yeah.
Say Lockett's. Yeah, I mean they're both
DK
wide receiver ones on majority of the teams in any other league.
DK is good. He just has he can't run every single route like Lockett can. He
Mhm.
reminds me a lot of Julio, in the fact that Julio is amazing. Like when the ball's in the air, he'll go up and get it, but he can't run. Like there's routes that his body isn't like.
Yeah, 'cause he's so big, it's hard for a guy to move like that.
But he's fast.
I wouldn't
Lockett's
compare
just
him to Julio.
better overall,
I would
man.
not compare him to Julio. Because Julio is like, I disagree. I think Julio's to the point where he's big, but not too big. Where, I think his route running is a little slept on because, if you think about it, he's always open. That doesn't happen just because you're fast. Except for
DK has blazing speed for a guy that is like, I don't know how many pounds he is,
He's
but that's
like 6'3".
I think DK could be like the next Calvin Johnson.
yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
DK. I would compare him to Calvin Johnson.
just don't hope he retires early or anything, and he'll be one of the best to do it, especially. And talking about Julio, he just came back from injury. He's doing well. Hey, okay, and come here. Yeah, Julio just came back, and he had a pretty good game with Matt Ryan eventually emerging. But yeah, you guys want to say hi to Ike here?
Hi, Ike.
Hi.
It was just
Hi,
Ike's
Ike.
birthday, guys.
I thought yesterday was Ike's birthday.
Yeah, yesterday was Ike's birthday. Yeah, but yeah, what do you guys have to say about Julio?
So I think that's another example of like a really good offense, but they can't. We know how bad their defense is. Like,
No run game either.
yeah. They're. The past few years, like,
Oh.
they've always had a great offense. Now they have Gurley, who's like, he's not that consistent, but he's still amazing. Like, he's still Todd Gurley. And Calvin Ridley's, I'm pretty sure he's top 5 in receiving yards. And Julio, like, he showed why he's arguably the best, most talented receiver in the league. And obviously he's not really known to score touchdowns, but this past week he had 2. And I had to play him in fantasy, and that was rough.
Me too, Henry. Me too. But did you have him in our league?
No,
He played against him.
I played
Yeah,
against.
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
I played against him in a PPR league.
Yeah, he had like 25 points, and my leading receiver had like 10. So
Yeah, those PPR monsters, including Keenan Allen or D-Hop. D-Hop's getting an amazing 10 targets per game. Metcalf is in the
He was off all night.
who?
Huh?
Tyler, he went 9 for 24.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kyler was not throwing the ball well, but
But he still had a bunch of
ended
yards.
up with he had 2. I think he had 2 catches for 75. I think.
Yeah, but you gotta look at the other wide receivers. Another cool one is Jamison Crowder, and he's a very weird person to talk about, especially because he's one of those bright spots in that horrible Jets team. With Flacco thrown to him, I don't really know what's in place for him, but he has tons of talent coming from Duke. What do you guys think about him?
go ahead.
I think if he had was on almost any other team, he could be a very, very high-end wide receiver too. I just think since he's on the Jets, I mean, we know what is happening over there. They're just terrible.
Oh, that team.
Right now, Darnold's not in the picture right now. It's Flacco, and Flacco's just horrible at this point.
I disagree. I don't think that Jameson Crowder's that good. I just think he's significantly better than the next guy up.
That's another thing there.
I think that he's not that. I think he'd be a good wide receiver 3 somewhere. I just don't think that he's like.
No,
I think the
most
only reason he's
yeah,
doing so well this year is because he's their only option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They can't, like Frank.
Well,
Gore,
even getting rid of Le'Veon now, they're going to throw the ball even more. Like that's going to be Pick City. Whoever faces them, it's going to be Pick City. They're going to be playing the pass every play.
Just wait for my boy Chris Hogan. Yes, sir. Chris Hogan.
Chris Hogan's your number 2.
That's sad.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wait, is
Back
he number
to
3?
No, apparently.
No, Braxton Berrios, dude.
Oh yeah.
And Rashawn Perryman.
Harriman. Yeah.
But yeah, that team, I wish the best for them. But like, yeah. Okay, so for our next segment, we're going to go into a deep dive into fantasy football, which I think is one of my most favorite things to do. And we'll just go through our standings and some start sits, drops, ads of the week. And Henry's going to pull up our standings. You can look at our rosters and whatever. You can decide for yourself who you think the best team is and your predictions. Henry,
And
pull it up.
just as an early thing, we are in a 12-team standard league.
12-team standard. So we're going to start with Henry's team. Henry's team is currently in first place. They're 5-1 right now. And honestly, I do not know how they're 5-1. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They
I do
suck.
not know.
Yeah. So, if we're looking at my team, I actually made this trade with Max that was pretty bad. I drafted Kyler Murray and Aaron Rodgers. Those are my 2 quarterbacks. And my receivers were Galladay and DJ Chark. So I wanted another wide receiver because I didn't like my depth because Deontay Johnson was absolute trash. So I traded Kyler Murray for DJ Moore. And I was thinking, if you look at Aaron Rodgers, he's very good. And in real life, he's better than Kyler Murray. So I figured, why don't I go with him just as the safe bet as my starter? And this week, in my first loss, he had 3 points. And Kyler, how much did Kyler have, Max?
28.
28, yep.
Exactly. So I do regret that, but I think it'll pay off just because Aaron Rodgers has already had his bye, so I don't have to worry about that. And I feel like he's pretty reliable every week. So I think my running backs are really elite. I have Kamara, Connor, and Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones is we've seen what he can do. He had 24 points last week. And I still didn't win. So yeah, that's pretty much my team. I had to pick up the Eagles D because Colts run a bye. I have Kittle. Yeah, so there's my team. Does somebody else want to talk about Crowley's team?
Or Henry's team. Anybody on Henry's team?
Henry, your team is it's just deep. I don't know. To be fair, I don't know why. I don't know DJ Chark's numbers, so I don't know why you're starting him over Galladay.
But one thing with him is that Laviska Shenault and Keelan Cole have been getting, I think, maybe even more snaps than him.
He gets targets, but he doesn't catch them.
Yeah.
Henry, why do you have Baker on your team?
Because I wanted a backup. I'm gonna drop him soon, but I don't know. He's the best available, so I picked him up.
Well, let's go on to
What?
No, Drazen just picked up Tua.
Really?
Yeah, Drazen just picked up Tua. Okay, well now we're going to Crowley.
No, I picked up Tua.
Oh, you did? Oh,
yeah.
Eli's team is it's good. It's just if it would be a lot better if Nick Chubb hadn't gone hurt.
For sure.
Because then he'd be able to have Mostert at his flex, but he's not Mostert's been hurt most of the season anyway.
But when he's healthy, he is really good.
Yeah, but then you have his team's really not that bad except for Boston Scott. And he has that really good tight end, Robert Tonyan.
Hey, don't sleep on Boston Scott.
He scored the most points in the league over the whole season.
Well, if you scroll down a little, you'll see he has Dallas Goedert too, who I think could be a good pickup, especially with Ertz out for 3 to 4 weeks. I don't know why he traded for Robert Tonyan.
He's the best tight end in the league. I don't know.
I don't know why he traded for Tonyan.
Yeah, but
boy.
It was the best trade ever.
Yeah, for
All
great.
right,
Yeah.
let's move on from Eli's team.
Okay.
So this is my team. So
Wait.
I think it's pretty
Can I
good.
just say something about Max's team? Max has the best team in the league, hands down. That's all we need to say. But
It's no. Let
He's
me tell
really
you why. Christian and Max have been obsessing over fantasy this season, and they have both made 15 plus trades. I think at this point, it's 20 at least for both, which is absolutely an insane amount. I've only made like 5, and other people have made 5 or less. So they're absolutely just crazy obsessed with fantasy football. They trade way too much. It's annoying, honestly. And that's why Max's team is so good, because other people are stupid.
I'm pretty stupid for giving him Kyler. But you know what? I'm playing him this week, and I'm going to beat him, so it's fine.
Well, the other stupid thing was that Christian dropped Johnny Smith, and I just.
Oh yeah, no, Christian's actually super
You
bad.
dropped Johnny Smith too, Sean.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, when he was bad.
Before he played any games, I dropped him because I had to.
Yeah.
But now I have
then,
Andrews.
and then someone traded me Darius Slay, and I forgot what was that, but like.
And you have Justin Jefferson on the bench.
That was me.
Yeah.
That was a bad
All
trade.
right. All right, I think we can move on.
We're gonna move on.
Slow
Okay.
down a little. So the next team is Ike Mitchell's. He was in our last episode. Very cool kid. But yeah,
His
he
team's pretty
suffered
good.
a lot. He suffered a lot of stuff here because he, of course, drafted Saquon Barkley, and I think he's rebounded pretty well from that. Honestly,
Yeah.
he still
His team
managed to get Julio and MT. I don't know how he got them, but he
Christian.
He literally has Michael Thomas at flex. You can't do any better than that.
And then like his running backs are his only like weak spot, I guess, but that's only because Jonathan Taylor's on a bye. And then Jerick McKinnon, depending on how long.
Yeah, if Mostert does not play, McKinnon will be a top 20 running back. So like
his team's good.
And his bench is like okay, but it's really like he sort of just has those players just because he can have them. Like I don't think he's really gonna play T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, probably definitely not J.K. Dobbins.
They're just value people there, and
yeah,
I mean, it could work. Yeah, and then we're gonna move on to Sean's team, which is also
Sean.
there's so many 4-2 teams. It's insane.
So my team, I drafted in the first round. I drafted Miles Sanders, who's out. He's on my bench right now, and then I have Joe Mixon starting and Austin Eckler, who's been injured. So this week might be a little rough with Devontae Freeman at my RB2, but I just made a trade with Christian. I gave away Robert Woods and Hunter Henry, and I received Jamison Crowder and Mark Andrews. So I think I won that trade by far. I think my team is actually very good. If nobody's injured, nobody's on a bye because I put Austin Eckler at my flex.
Can I just say real quick?
Sean and Henry have gone in with like the most injuries throughout the season.
Yeah, I've had if you look back at from week 1, I've had at least one person questionable every week. So Kittle didn't play week 1, or no, Kittle played week 1, not week 2 or week 3. Chark was questionable. Like everybody has been Galladay didn't play for like 2 weeks. My team is like, even though I'm in first, I really don't deserve it because my whole team is like freaking. I don't even know.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, another 4-2 team. We got Drazen. Drazen, would you like to talk about your team?
Yeah. Okay. So, no, like, sure, my team doesn't. It's not strong. It's not. Like every single week, I'm probably projected like around 86 points, and I mean that's average. Like that's what I get. So well, obviously I had first pick, and I picked Christian McCaffrey. There's nothing I could do about it. And no, like I'm not that strong on my team, but I am winning games.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, Will Fuller, when he is healthy, he is getting points. And like most of the time that like Will Fuller is such a big contribution to my team.
Yes.
And I honestly think that Will Fuller is probably the best player on my team.
Yeah. Well, you got lucky with Justin Jefferson.
Is really good.
Yeah, with Justin Jefferson, you got lucky a little there because I thought it was going to be Joshua Kelly, but really Justin Jefferson is the number 1 there.
Jackson?
Yeah.
I mean, Justin Jackson. Yeah, Justin Jackson. Sorry. Justin Jackson is definitely the number 1 there instead of Joshua Kelly, which we all thought was. And then also, I mean, you got Chase Edmonds, who I thought was going to turn a running back by committee if Drake didn't do well, but Drake did well. So I think Edmonds is an okay handcuff there. But
Yeah.
otherwise, Thielen's number one scoring wide receiver right now, looking really well. And scroll down.
Although, okay, one thing, when McCaffrey comes back, Drazen's team is going to be really legit.
Yes.
I just want to say that. All right, so now we got the 3-3 team. 3-3 team is our boy Richie. So
Richie's team is really good. It's just
it's the
his
fact
depth is
that
awful.
he's 3-3 is incredible. I don't know how it's possible. He has. I mean, if you look at it, it's really like not that good. Then you get to the bench and you're like amazed. This man has
Russell
Wilson, Dalvin Cook, and Chris Carson.
Mm-hmm.
Dale Henderson is emerging. Gardner Minshew's his backup.
CeeDee
His
Lamb,
receivers are like okay, but they're still really good. I mean, he has CD and Robbie Anderson, and then
and he's got
Marcus
Kelsey.
Flex.
He's got Kelsey.
Yeah, exactly. Kelsey is arguably the best tight end in the league. So
Yeah.
And then that his team I think is one of the best in the league. It's just that depth is not there.
yeah, and he just hasn't really been winning the way he would like to.
Yeah, I mean, he can totally crush people, but he needs to work on that depth, and he'll finally get where he needs to be. And then we're going to move on to 2 and 4, so now it's getting a little lower the pack here. We got Ethan's team. Ethan's team made a really questionable trade, and he traded for Josh Jacobs, and he gave away DK Metcalf and Todd Gurley. Like, I mean, he has Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs, and then Matt Ryan, who can be good. So you guys think about his team?
I think that the only way that he ends up winning games are when Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs both have 20-point games.
Yeah.
And he has the best running back core in the league.
Oh,
But-
definitely.
Yeah, but that wide receiving core, that is a big drop off.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike
Williams is like a waiver wire pickup, and so is Chenault.
I think Mike Williams solidified himself into maybe a flex option, but like nothing else.
And then obviously he has Lamar, so he could do something there. His quarterbacks are really good. So
Has Henry Ruggs been back this? Is he healthy again?
I think he is, but like, remember that one game where he had like 2 receptions, but he had like, I don't know, like 18
one.
Yeah. 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 Okay, we're gonna move on to the next team, which may be one of the worst teams in the league.
Worst
2
team
and
in the
4.
Oh,
Christian Josie's team, and this
Full
team.
of grades.
Okay.
Let me talk about it.
Okay.
No, because
You
he's
don't
gonna
have
be
a single
so
player you
incredibly
drafted.
biased.
You don't have
Yeah,
a single player you drafted.
there are no players.
It's not my mind. Okay, quarterback Tannehill. I mean, he's top 10 in my opinion. Running back core is solid. It's really solid. I just the reason I'm 2 and 4 is because every week I've had one player projected high get terrible. The receiving core, I think this week will be good because I traded Crowder for Woods, which was a steal from Sean.
You gave away Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
Hunter Henry at tight end. I mean, he's above average. That's fine.
No, he's averaging like 6 or 7 points a game.
So my flex, I'm still debating between Melvin Gordon or DeAndre Swift. It all comes down to if Gordon plays or not. But Swift
Mr.
had a really
Gordon.
good.
Yeah.
The Browns D is playing Cincinnati's offense, which isn't special.
Last
So-
week against the Steelers, it was.
And
That's
then
true.
Young Hoku is
It's Young
averaging
Way.
Young
Yeah.
Way.
20 last
Young Way.
It's Young
Don't
Hoku.
disrespect the goat.
Okay.
He had 20 last week, so I picked him up.
All right, not
My,
important.
my bench is okay.
Not
No,
important.
it's not.
And there
Now we
got
got the trash teams, but
No,
Hey,
Gray,
hey,
Gray, Gray's
Still
here.
Yeah, trash.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Garbage.
I've been making some moves here. So Devin, I don't want to start Devin Singletary, but it's between him. I have to pick between him
Miles
or
Gaskin. Go.
Davion or James White.
Ray, you
Is
don't
Gaskin on
have that wide receiver core.
Yeah.
Gaskin's
on
on
a
a bye.
Gaskin on the ball.
Devin Singletary is a top 15.
That's
Oh.
not Amari Cooper and Terry McLaurin have been producing for me.
And
Terry
AJ.
McLaurin's had one bad week. Amari Cooper hasn't had any yet.
Well-
I think I have TJ Hawkinson's all right. He's consistent.
I think Gray can slide.
AJ
into the
Brown,
playoffs.
since coming off his injury, has been doing really well. He's averaged he got 14 one week and 17 the next. But
Yeah,
then
I think Gray could slide himself into the playoffs here.
Oh
yeah,
my
I think I will too.
God.
I think I'm going to
Better
beat
than
out
Christian.
because
Yeah, all I know is
think
Christian's
it
not
has
making
got
the team.
exponentially better.
Bet on that.
It
Oh,
has
yeah,
gotten
Le'Veon Bell on the
exponentially
bench.
better. Because I made a trade with Sean to get Gaskin and AJ Brown for Godwin and Sony Michelle. And then I just traded Robert Tonyan to Eli for Tyler Boyd and James White. And then I also scooped up AJ Green.
Oh, he's
Oh,
trash.
my kicker's out.
Yeah,
he got
exactly.
COVID.
Yeah, Joey Sly's on the reserve COVID list.
I know.
Reserve and COVID list.
Can I put him in the IR spot?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to Luke's team. This Luke team, I don't know how.
Beat
but
Christian.
They won last week against
They beat
guess who,
Christian.
guys? Christian Josie. And like,
Yeah.
I mean,
W.
this team is not good. Okay.
No, it's not.
I have to be honest with you, but it beat a team, and that's all we're happy about. We're happy for Luke there, right?
If Leonard Fournette hadn't gotten traded, his team wouldn't be that bad.
If he didn't trade Aaron
Yeah.
Jones away,
He traded Aaron Jones and Tyler Boyd for Le'Veon Bell and
Yeah, no, his team would be actually solid if he didn't do that.
yeah,
Well,
but like
maybe-
he beat Christian, and he has D-Hop. Okay, like, and he
Because
has
imagine
Claypool.
adding, take away Philip Lindsay and put in Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
That'd be a
Like
good
that's
team.
a good. That's actually if he had a better flex, that's a good team.
And then we have Nathan Ginsburg, who doesn't care at all.
His team is a
But
joke.
it's
It's
okay.
Devonta Adams on the bench, so
But yeah, he's okay. Yeah, he's just not there.
yeah, he was
But
just
it's fine.
a filler team.
Yeah, so I have a question, guys. Who are the 4 teams not making the playoffs? We have 8 people making the playoffs. There's 12 people in the league. 4 teams are not making it.
Not making the playoffs.
Luke,
Bro, 8 people make the playoffs?
Luke,
Yes.
Nathan, Christian, and Ethan.
I'm making it over Gray.
No, you're not.
No,
no, you're not.
All right,
No, you're
Gray,
not.
bet
Wait,
on
didn't
that,
I
bro.
play you 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
won
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Who won? Do
That
y'all
was
remember who
before I
won?
made a trade for Kareem Hunt and Melvin
Also,
Gordon.
who
That's
lost?
what
to
I- yeah.
Luke?
But
Who
then
lost to
Sean, Sean almost got you.
I beat
And you
Sean.
I
to Luke.
lost by 0.16 to Christian.
You also
It's all
lost
good,
to
Sean.
Luke.
It's all good,
So,
Sean.
like, just don't speak to me, okay?
Christian, I'm 4-2. You're 2-4. I don't want
It's
to
all
hear
good,
it.
Sean. It's all good.
Yeah, it is actually.
No, Gray won the playoffs. Nathan definitely won.
No,
Luke
the
won.
4 teams not making the playoffs are Nathan, Luke, Christian, and
Christian's gonna find a way to do too much again.
Ethan.
who's the other? Ethan.
Ethan or Gray.
No, Gray. I think Gray won't make the playoffs.
Watch
His
me.
team's
Watch.
trash.
Me and Gray would both make it over Ethan.
And then who do you guys have
No.
winning? Who do you guys have winning the whole thing?
Max.
Realistically, probably Max
I think it's either
or Richie.
Max or me.
Not you.
Well,
And-
no,
Richie.
like I've
Playoffs
been
or
winning games.
So
I'm first in the league. It's not out of the question.
I think
Max's team is better.
I think Max will win the regular season, which is $50, because we all put in $10, so there's 120 total pot. The regular season winner gets 50, the playoff gets 70. I think Max wins the regular season, but somebody else wins the playoff.
I
I
think
think
Richie.
Richie.
I think
I think Richie will win playoffs.
Richie or me. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been a great season overall. Christian was losing. We're all happy. Like, I think that's
It
the
wasn't a great season when the only reason it's not good is because of all these trades that Christian offers. Oh, I want to tell you guys about a trade Christian offered me. I believe it was Kareem Hunt for Alvin Kamara. And
Wow.
No, I put in full.
oh, sorry. Kareem Hunt and Travis Fulgham, if that makes a difference.
Oh,
I was
Oh,
really considering it. but-
I got Zeke for James Robinson.
oh, yeah, that was good too.
I mean, they're all great trades
Dude.
over there.
I think he just proposed all these trades in hopes that someone misclicks and accidentally presses.
See, but then we veto, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
The prank.
Well, that was a fun fantasy football segment, and this is going to conclude our episode 4, week 7 podcast. I'll see you guys. Have a great week.